Hi everyone, my name is Sarah, and I present the Diabetic Road Trip, a GPS guide for ECPI University, course NUR 444L. In this presentation, we will embark on a road trip through the intricate landscape of diabetes, a condition that affects millions worldwide. We'll be diving into the mysterious realm of blood sugar and learning ways to navigate the challenges it presents. Now, imagine your body is a high-tech vehicle with an advanced fuel injection system. This advanced fuel injection system is called diabetes. The injection system has three components: blood sugar, insulin, and something called A1C. Blood sugar, or blood glucose, is the body's primary source of energy, kind of like gas is for cars. High-tech vehicles have computers in them that average out your miles per gallon over time, and this is similar to your body's A1C. However, your body's A1C is an average of blood sugar over 3 months. Only your mechanic or your doctor can order a blood test to see what your A1C is. However, you can prick your finger throughout the day and test tiny samples of blood with a glucometer to see what your blood sugar is in real time. Insulin, our third component, is your fuel regulator. This helps keep your blood sugar at safe levels. The A1C blood test is a test that determines whether or not you are diabetic. If your A1C is between 5.7 and 6.4, you're pre-diabetic. People who don't have diabetes have an A1C below 5.7. And then if your A1C is 6.5 or higher, this indicates you probably are diabetic. All right, now let's buckle up and talk about blood sugar speed limits or ranges. These are very important for diabetics. When driving your high-tech vehicle, it's important to stay within the speed limit because we know that driving too slow or too fast can cause accidents, right? For diabetics, the speed limit is closely tied to meal times. The goal is to be between 80 and 130 before meals and lower than 180 1 to 2 hours after meals. Anything under 80 is called hypoglycemic. Hypoglycemia, or driving too slow, can make you feel dizzy or shaky, like if you're running on an empty tank. On the flip side, blood sugar that is over 180 is called hyperglycemia, and this might leave you feeling fatigued and thirsty, like if you've had too much sugar to eat. But DKA, it's kind of like the villain in our story, diabetic ketoacidosis. This happens when your sugar is sky high, like if you've been putting the pedal to the metal for too long and refuse to slow down. A blood sugar of 250 or higher might mean you're in DKA, and sometimes the number is even too high for blood sugar machines to measure. Your body starts producing something harmful called acetic ketones when it's in DKA. Signs of DKA might include nausea, confusion, and fruity smelling breath. Now let's talk about how to handle blood sugar emergencies. If you find yourself on the low side, hypoglycemic, pump on the gas a little bit. Grab a quick fix like juice or sugar tablets, then recheck your blood sugar in 15 minutes to make sure it rises to at least 80. If you're not at 80, eat a little bit more and recheck your sugar again in another 15. However, if you find yourself on the high end, hyperglycemic or potentially in DKA, ease up on that gas. Make sure you're taking the medicines your doctor has prescribed for you. Diabetes medicines includes oral medications like pills or injections like insulin. Insulin helps pull sugar out of your bloodstream and put it into your cells. This lowers blood sugar. Insulin injections, oral medications, exercise, and a balanced diet are ways to ease up on that gas. Now, if none of these work, if your blood sugar is too low or if it's too high and what you're doing isn't helping normalize your numbers, just go to the emergency room. This is very important. If you're not able to drive yourself, make sure you grab a family member or a friend or even a neighbor. Get to that ER. Now, living with diabetes is like being on a big, long road trip, and it's important to know what living with it looks like in the long term. Low blood sugar can lead to things like confusion, seizures, and even unconsciousness. On the flip side, consistently high blood sugar can pave the way for complications like heart disease, kidney problems, nerve damage, stroke, and even foot and finger amputations. Remember though, it's important to stay within that speed limit, anywhere between 80 and 180, because we know that driving too slow or too fast for especially long periods of time can cause accidents and permanently damage your high-tech vehicle. So we know that every driver needs a good GPS to know where they're going, especially on a long road trip. So let's shift gears and dive into some of the practical aspects of managing diabetes. We're going to focus on the essential equipment you need and when and how to check your blood sugar. But first things first, the tools of the trade. Monitoring your blood sugar requires a good GPS that tells you what your blood sugar is in real time, so you know which turns or decisions to make. Is your blood sugar too high or is it too low? Do you need to eat a little bit to bring it up or give yourself a little insulin to bring it down? Whatever the case, make sure you're following your doctor's orders. So, this toolkit is made up of a few items, and the good news is they're usually covered by insurance. So, picture this. These items are your diabetic toolkit: a glucometer, blood test strips, lancets, an automatic lancet pricking device, and alcohol wipes, maybe even tissues or paper towels. Your local pharmacy is a treasure trove of all things diabetic. Pharmacy staff can guide you in choosing the right equipment, and insurance often lends a hand in helping to cover the costs. Linked below is an example of an affordable starter kit that can be purchased at a local department store. So let's talk technique. Obtaining a blood sample might sound intimidating, but fear not. With a bit of practice, it'll become second nature. Start by washing your hands, inserting a test strip into that glucometer, cleaning the side of any finger with an alcohol wipe, using the automatic lancet device to prick your finger and make a tiny puncture. Wipe away the first drop of blood, and then collect a second small drop of blood onto the test strip of your glucometer. So now that we've got our GPS toolkit sorted, let's talk timing. Checking your blood sugar is not a once in a blue moon thing. It's a routine. You want to check before meals and at bedtime. These are your designated pit stops on this road trip. Think of it this way. Before meals is like checking the fuel level in your tank before going for a long drive. It gives you an idea of where you're starting and helps you plan out your pit stops. Bedtime, on the other hand, is like parking your car for the night. You want to ensure it's in good shape, has a good amount of stuff in the tank, and ready for the next day's adventures. But don't forget, keep an eye out for signs and symptoms of hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia, and DKA. Are you feeling shaky or dizzy? That's your cue to check your sugar. Unquestionable thirst or fatigue? Time to pull out that GPS toolkit again. And remember, your GPS toolkit is your trusty sidekick and always by your side to provide real-time directions and updates on your body's fuel system. Now let's switch one more gear and talk about the powerful duo of diet and exercise. Diet and exercise are like basic car maintenance. They keep your high-tech vehicle in tip-top shape, and these are easy ways to help manage your blood sugar levels that don't involve medications. So let's start with carbs. Carbohydrates, they're the fuel that powers our bodies, but managing them is an art. Picture your plate as your car's exterior, and let's paint it with a variety of colors: vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. This not only adds flavor and texture to your meals, but also helps regulate the release of sugar into your bloodstream, naturally reducing your level of blood sugar. Diabetics who eat 2,000 calories a day can have about 130 grams of carbs. Now, keep in mind that carbs raise blood sugar, so staying in this range or even 10 to 20 carbs lower can help manage your sugar levels. Portion control and meal timing is also very important for diabetics. You want to plan regular pit stop routine for your body. For example, plan to stop for 3 well-rounded meals a day with 2 snacks in between on your road trip. Keep the carbs healthy and be sure to check your sugar before you eat. Also, small, well-timed portions help regulate blood sugar level, preventing spikes and crashes. It's all about creating a steady pace throughout the day. It's all about keeping your foot steady on that gas. Now let's talk about exercise. Exercising regularly is important for everyone in general, but it's especially important for diabetics. You don't have to be a fitness guru. Going for a simple walk, dancing in your living room, going for a hike, or just out bowling. Basically, any activity you enjoy can make a significant impact. Exercise helps your body use insulin more efficiently and effectively, allowing your cells to absorb sugar better. Aim for about 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. It's like a daily tune-up for your body's high-tech machinery. Now, it's important that we talk about water. We talk about water all the time. It's important for everyone in general to stay hydrated, right? But we don't talk about it much in relation to diabetes. For diabetes, water is an unsung hero. It helps keep your blood sugar within normal limits between that 80 and 180. And folks don't really understand that being dehydrated can actually jack up your blood sugar levels. So it's important to stay hydrated and drink at least 8 ounce glasses of water a day. Medications and regularly monitoring your blood sugar levels are keys to a successful road trip. Remember, checking your blood sugar is not a once in a blue moon thing. Always keep your GPS toolkit handy. It's your trusty sidekick. Doing both of these is like keeping an eye on your gas tank. You always want to know where you stand. You also want to work closely with your doctor to identify the right medications for you and work with a nutritionist to develop a personalized meal plan for your body's needs. It is always, always important to follow your doctor's orders with your diabetic medications. And remember to go to the ER when things start to spiral out of control, when your blood sugar is lower than 80 and food or sugar tablets aren't bringing it up, or when your sugar is greater than 250 and medications aren't bringing it down. Go to that emergency room. So let's recap on a few of the important items we've discussed here. Diabetics want to make sure that they're working with a healthcare professional. This can be a doctor, or a nurse practitioner, or a physician's assistant to tailor the medications for your diabetes. This is because sometimes diabetic medications need a little tweaking or adjusting. Diabetics want to schedule annual or other regular checkups with the healthcare team that they have. This includes eye exams and foot checks. Diabetics always want to carry their trusty sidekick with them, their GPS toolkit, and sugar tablets just in case they run into low blood sugars. It's important to work with nutritionists to develop a personalized meal plan that prioritizes well-balanced options and avoids excessive sugar. And exercise regularly. It naturally reduces blood sugar. Regularly check your sugars, at least before meals and at bedtime, and when you might be feeling symptomatic of hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia, or DKA. Drink plenty of water, at least 8 ounce glasses of water a day, and go to the ER when you need to. Don't be afraid to hit that emergency room if your medicines or whatever you're doing isn't working to adjust your blood sugar. Managing diabetes may seem overwhelming at first, but worry not. Just keep your foot steady on the gas and your GPS toolkit handy. Make regular pit stops to check your blood sugar and visit your doctor, and be sure to keep your high-tech vehicle maintained with a healthy diet and regular exercise. These tips alone will help make sure your road trip is safe and one to remember. Thank you for watching and enjoy the adventure.